Hello, and welcome to the BMRG Group Advisory Program, Results Business Suite, the desktop application. This presentation will give you a great insight into what is an important and critical tool that all business owners need to have in place in order to have an effective, efficient, and smooth running business machine. We're going to see an actual live demonstration of the Results Business Suite. So without further ado, let's get into the demonstration.
So when you're looking at the Results desktop product, a person will come in, log into the system so that based on their login ID and password, we're able to control, based on the user setting and security setting, what they're able to do within the system itself. Each user can have their own settings within the system regarding the startup experience. So going to the configuration options side of the house, they're able to decide if they want to see their to-do list automatically, whether they want the calendar automatically opened, whether they want the home page, which is like a dashboard, automatically opened. So each person can have their own experience, and there's many different aspects and configuration settings across multiple modules within the system that allows each user to have the experience that they're most comfortable with in the way they would like to interact and use the results system. So first, let's cover the overall navigation and the design of the system. We have opted to design results based on the Microsoft Office 2010 and 2013 business design. So this is sometimes referred to as a banded menu or tabbed menu, so that whenever you highlight a certain area, you're able to see the menu options available to you, and these are broken up by areas. So for example, under the services and project management area of the system, you're able to work with service orders, but you're also able to work with projects and documents. So the navigation system is pretty standard with the Microsoft style. You have a central start menu, which allows you quick and immediate access to any of your main data areas in the system. And you have a quick, instantaneous way of adding any type of a record into the system from a central screen without you having to go hunting down to the specific menus before you can use that. You are able to also come in and work from what's called the home menu. The home menu is where everyone starts. So in addition to having the home page, which is more like a dashboard that summarizes the data areas of importance to you, Results focuses on the user experience by making the system as easy to use as possible. To do that, we have built what's called My Results items. Since the system knows who you are based on your login ID, in this case I logged in as Mary. Mary is an office manager personality, and so the data areas of interest on the home page are all over the place, anything from contacts and clients and prospects and vendors to all the projects, all the open activities, sales opportunities. So a varied set of interests. Nevertheless, though, when Mary is working with the system and we're looking at My Results items, I'm instantly able to tell the system, show me my contacts. My contacts basically instantly gets filtered down to the contacts that Mary, as the user here, is involved with, either as a sales rep or as an assigned to, that means an account manager. And so effectively, instead of wasting Mary's time with hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of records, Mary can instantly see the contacts that matter to her. Mary can ask for her to-do list, and you'll notice then, in this case, all the activities, appointments, tasks, service orders, work orders, anything that needs to get done that's assigned to Mary and has not been completed yet will instantly appear in this data management center. Same thing with opportunities, sales opportunities. There's one of them assigned to Mary. In this case, Mike is a sales rep, but if you open up this record by double-clicking on it, you'll notice that Mary is the assigned to, and so has involvement with that opportunity, and so will be part of the set of My items that will appear for her. That's true on quotations, sales orders, service orders, projects, invoices, any of the data areas and results that involve an assignment to a certain person can be instantly viewed and worked from by directly looking at the My area of functionality. So the next thing that I would like to cover with you is talking about a design aspect of how we work with data within the results product. So if you look at the design of most successful systems, You'll notice, especially around data, you'll notice that they need to be intuitive, simple to use, and multifaceted, or extremely easy to use across multiple types of data. A good example of that is the Excel product. If you look at the popularity of Excel, you'll look at two areas of that product that makes it so widely accepted and so widely used across the world. First, the interface is intuitive. You're dealing with data in a grid fashion, so it's columns and rows, and it's easy for people to see things in a list fashion. The buttons and the available things that you can do to the list of items is pretty straightforward and simple to apply. But here's the most important aspect of Excel from a design. Once you learn the Excel product and you get comfortable with it, it doesn't really matter what spreadsheet type you're opening. Within Excel, you're going to be instantly as productive as you were with the previous spreadsheet. So you can switch from opening a spreadsheet with invoices on it to opening a spreadsheet with a contact list of who you're going to call today, or the follow-up to-do list that you need to accomplish this week. So the bottom line then is you have a way of looking at data in spreadsheets, and you have a tool to effectively allow you to work with that spreadsheet. And that's exactly how we design Results. So what we've done is we've taken the concept of a spreadsheet and we put it into what we call a data management center. So this is the area in which you're going to manage data relating to a certain set of data. So in this case, if you want to manage the context information, you're going to go to the Context Data Management Center. You're going to see that the list is very much like an Excel spreadsheet. You're dealing with rows of data representing the different contexts that Mary is responsible for. There are different columns going across that allows to see a group, different types of data and information around each of those contact records. It's in a grid fashion, and there's a set of buttons on the top of the screen that allows you to do certain things. So, for example, starting from the top, you're able to see how many records are in the system. You're able to add records, open the record you're on to see more information about it. You're able to delete, report on, export data to Excel. So these are standard things that you would expect to be able to do very easily within a list of records. What if we were looking at a to-do list of list of activities? It's just another spreadsheet, right? So the data changed, but the engine is the same. You still have columns of information, you still have rows of the activities listing the various records. You're able to move back and forth between the list of columns available to you, and you still have the very consistent interface with the add open, except now when you click open, you're going to open up an activity as compared to opening up a contact record. But that's the only difference. So it is really a simple design, intuitive, easy to use, consistent in the way it's applied, and allows you to effectively work with any set of data that is part of the relationship management that you'll be doing with the contact record. And that's the key aspect of the Data Management Center. Also, we refer to it in short as DMC. So the DMCs are a unique aspect of designing the system in a way that's easy to use. The last aspect of usability is the help menu. The help menu gives you easy access to a user manual, quite a few, 242 pages at this point. There is a table of contents built in that allows you to go to the various chapters. The the user manual is written from the aspect of that you're going to use the system with the question of how do I do something. So we take you directly to how do you add a contact record, how do you open an existing record, how do you do various things. We also make sure that we include for you the actual screens themselves. So you're able to review this user manual without actually even being in the system. It's actually a PDF file that you can print and reference or use at any time that you need to. You also have another online help system that is called the Results Help. This has the same identical content to the user manual, except it's designed in a way that allows you to open up any of this information from any screen. So if you're already doing data entry on this activity screen, you have a help button up here that allows you to instantly get to the help menu directly from within that screen itself. So that's how that works. You also have access to the 24/7 online video library, updates of the software. You can instantly contact support by clicking on a single button. And what the system would do is will automatically fill in the email message with your contact information, with the version number you're using, serial number, and allows it automatically addresses it to support. So you just have to put the question that you have and press the send button, making it very easy for you to contact our support department at any time with any question that you have. So at this point, that's the overall use and navigation and the design, the underlying design of the data management center. At this point, I'm going to go into a little bit more of the functionality itself of the system, and we're going to delve a little bit more in depth within the contact management of the data management center, the DMC of the context records themselves. So I'm going to the context menu. Within the context menu, I'm going to click on Manage. When you're working with managing the context data, in this case, I asked to manage all the data. So I'm seeing all the information within the system at once. And in this case, we have 117 records within the database. Every single column in results can be automatically searched on, and you can search on multiple columns at the same time. So just to give you some quick examples of the ease of which you can work and find data within the results system, you're able to go to the last name, for example, and let's say you want to look for anything starting with the letter S. You're able to, as soon as you click that letter up here, the system will instantly jump from whatever number of records there were to the remaining records. It's called dynamic searching, so it's only showing you the records that apply. And in this case, it will update the count of the records found to represent the records and the information that's applicable here. So if I type another character, I will go now down to 4 records being found in the system. I'm able to backspace over that, go to another column, and search for those records, and maybe only the ones with the last name starting with S, and the state being Virginia. So I can go to the state column, type VA, and now we know that we found 4 records that has the data represented to be the state equals to Virginia and the name having that character. Now, within each of those columns, there's a little bit more advanced search capability, so you can click on a special button per column and change the rules from being starts with to say contains. What that really says is that I'm looking for now the letter S anywhere within the last name. So Anderson with the S here, Harrison with the S in the middle, Peterson, Saab, Smith, all of those are accessible now. You're back to 8 records. Now keep in mind, we never canceled the search for the state being Virginia, so that's still applicable, and so that condition is still true, and now you're back to 8 records that defines the records that belong to that set of criteria. You're able to cancel all of that search at any time and apply a different set of searches. You're able to restructure the columns the way they're stated. So if you, for example, work with an email address often, you'll notice that if you scroll to the right, the standard layout of a contact record in results is to have the email address to the right of the phone number. Let's say you want to always make sure that the email address is filled. So instead of depending on it and leaving it to the right side where it's not always visible, you can move your data to exactly where you want it to be placed. Each user in the system can redesign any of those data management centers for themselves, and this will not affect any other user, will be instantly memorized by the system. So if I close the contacts and now go back and reopen the contacts, you'll notice that the email, the column, you'll notice has been positioned to where I wanted it to be and where I stated I needed it to be, regardless. No other steps need to be taken, no other user is affected, and this is true to every single data management center in the system. You're also able to restructure the column width. You're able to move columns you don't care about as much to other away from the central location. The point then is to make the system as easy to use, as convenient, as intuitive, and have it to be as customized to your likes and the way you want to work as possible. The other thing that is very important about working with data is, in addition to being able to search on the columns themselves, every single column in every single data management center, we have 2 additional types of searches that are built into each data management center. On the left-hand side, you have a pop-out area, which is very convenient to get to, tucked away. So most of the time, if you're just searching by columns or sorting data and looking for things based on the way they're sorted, then you might not need to engage those additional search options. But if you do, you're able to click on the standard search, and in that case, the system is powerful enough to allow you to search on additional fields that are commonly searched for, even though those fields might not necessarily appear on the Data Management Center itself. You're also able to apply something called the phonetic search, which is a very powerful feature within the results system to allow you to find a record, regardless of how the spelling of the name happens to be, because you might not be sure, and you still want to find the record regardless of how the name is spelled. Results has that functionality, and that's unique to the results system. We have not seen that functionality in any other CRM system on the market. You're also able to search based on the sale history and what the customer has ordered from you. So you can go to the products ordered, type in the special code you're looking for, or click on a button that allows you to see all the various things that you sell within the organization grouped by a table of contents, services versus consulting versus programming, for example, and be able to tell the system, I'm interested in anyone that has gotten from me or purchased from us installation services. When you check this box, you're able to then tell the system, this is what I'm searching on. And in this case, we went from 117 records to 26 records that happen to have purchased from us installation services. If you want to verify that, you can open up any of those contact records themselves and then go to the invoices. You can see that invoices have been applied to this organization. You can open up those invoices, or better yet, we have a special tab called Invoice Details. So instead of you having to open up every single invoice to see what has been acquired or purchased in the past, you're able to go to the invoice details and you can see every single item has ever been purchased. You'll see here installations has been done, and that was part of invoice 5046. So I can also tell the system to open up for me that invoice. And in this case, invoice 5046 with the installation services will be applicable and immediately applied. So the point of being able to do this kind of search is that what's called upselling capabilities. You're able to have your sales team or business development or even customer service follow up with any customer based on what they historically ordered from you, regardless of when they ordered it. Also, one other quick convenient thing to demonstrate at this point is that we have found 26 records that have bought from us that installation service. Let's say we want to, in business development, it's very important for upper management to come up with a list of records and then assign those to a certain sales rep or customer service rep to follow up with them, as an example. So what you can do in Results is do exactly that in a very efficient couple of clicks. And the way you would do that is the following. There are 26 records that have ordered from us installation services before. Let's say we want to select them all, except for David Lowe and Robert Sage. These are special, they require special handling, so we're not going to put them into the set of records we're going to assign to a sales rep. Then we're going to use a built-in tool within Results called Mass Update. Within the Mass Update, you're able to do a lot of things. You're able to reassign this to another sales rep, for example. So let's take all those records and hand them over to Frank. We're going to make Frank the sales rep on those records. We'll click on Update. Frank became the sales rep on all of them. And then we're going to go and tell Frank to call them. So we're going to go to Added Activity to each of those records that are reselected or reshown for you here on the left-hand side for emphasis. There's 24 records. Remember, we found 26 and we unselected 2 of those. So 24 records. We're going to have Frank call them. So Frank is being assigned the responsibility of making a call, and then call and discuss installation services. And then you simply click one single button, and that confirms that this is what it's going to do for you, and those items have been created for you. If you want to go and take a quick peek and see what happened to Frank, and let's pretend to be coming into the system as Frank. So we're going to go to the Activities area. We're going to go to Manage Activities. we're going to go to the standard search, and we're going to let the system help us find what has been assigned to Frank. So we're going to click on the drop-down, say what has been assigned to Frank that's still pending. So we're going to click Apply, and you'll notice that there are a number of things that are on Frank's plate, but one of them specifically is list of records. So we can go to the type and say, what does he have to do with calling? And we're going to find that there are 24 records on his plate to call. Now, what's also very powerful and very important to note is that it didn't just put those activities there, but it automatically linked them to the necessary customer. What does that really mean? That means that Frank can come into the system, select those 24 records, open them all at the same time. Results has a very powerful functionality in allowing you to open a group of records instantly instead of having to go in there one record at a time. If you go to the links area, you'll see that for every single activity of those 24 activities assigned to him, we're going to show him exactly who he needs to call. So he's supposed to call Laurel, and he can go ahead and see the phone number up here and make the call. Actually, if you know business development and you've worked with business development, you would know that before you call Laurel, you really should check the account, make sure you know everything about them. Have they called in? Are they waiting on a call from a supervisor? Have they had a complaint? Have they had a testimonial out there that they're already happy with the service? Do they have a balanced due? So really, you want to check the account of Laurel before you proceed with a call. So this is an example where, again, Results excels by giving you the information you need at the time you need it without you having to go through multiple manual steps. What does that mean? Instead of you having to take that ID down, go and open up the record and find it, we can get you there directly. If you look on those special buttons next to each name, you'll see that we have a specialized button that allows you to open up instantly the contact record before you make the call. So this is the profile of Laurel. You can see all the activities in there, including the one that's assigned to Frank. You're able to see other emails. You can see invoices that might have been assigned. You can look at the finance to see if they, oh yeah, look at that. They owe us $1,700, so we might as well bring that up when we're talking to them on the phone right now. Every single thing about this relationship is accessible and available. There's multiple projects we've done for them. There's no sales opportunities, no quotations. There are multiple payments that came in. These are the invoices where they apply. And this is coming in from the accounting system. So if they have a question when we call them about a payment that was received or not, we can answer that right away because we have the visibility of that information. Once we're satisfied that we know who we're dealing with, we can proceed to make the call. We mark it as completed, hit save, and then move on to the other record. By the way, just to explain this real quickly, in this example, notice I'm logged in as Mary. And as Mary, I went to a record that was assigned to Frank and made a change to it. What does that mean? Really, I shouldn't be doing that without telling Frank. I just touched one of his records and reported the fact that he made a call and completed it. So what the system then springs into action and say, would you wish to notify Frank that you made an update? And if I say yes to that, oh, Frank was not set up with an email address in the system. Okay, so if this demo data was set up properly, Frank would have an email address in the system, and he would have received an email message that lets him know that Mary just made a change to his activity record under his name that's assigned to him, and so he would be informed that data is being changed on his behalf by another team member. So now we can go on to the next record, open the contact record, and find out all the information about this account and move on from there. So when I go back now and I look at the remaining data, did you notice that we just went from 24 to 23 instantly? What happened? Well, remember we had 24 records. When we completed one of them, we flagged it as completed, so it's no longer pending. So if we're trying to find out what's on the to-do list for Frank, he only has 23 remaining items, not 24, based on the fact that we only asked for pending activities, activities that have not been completed. So we digress there by seeing the workflow directly through what happened to the set of activities that got assigned from the series of contact records that were found based on searching for installation services. What's interesting to note is that I was able to go and engage those activities without having to cancel or exit whatever I was working with before. The way Results works and focuses on is that it's a productivity tool. It's going to make things easy for the user. And by doing so, it's going to give them the functionality that are expected. I don't want the system to cancel what I'm doing just because I need to jump to something else. I would like to be able to go and answer the phone. Let's say a person called in right now. I need to go find their record. I need to be able to go and do that without losing whatever I was working on before. So here's coming into the context and saying I want to search for the person that's on the phone. So let's say the person calling in, their last name is McKinsey. Now, as you can imagine, McKinsey as a name is a very challenging name to find in a database system. Why? Because there's so many creative ways in which you can type that name. So let's give that a shot. McKinsey written that way, click apply, no records found. So let's not give up. Let's not give up until we give results a chance to say, use your magic. We know you can do phonetic search, which means search for the name regardless of how it's spelled, as long as it sounds similar to what you typed in there. So let's give that a shot. We clicked on the phonetic search, we click on apply, and here comes two McKinseys that sound like a McKinsey, even though they're definitely not written anything close to what I typed in here from a McKinsey name. So this is an example where phonetic search saved the day by allowing you to find the information that you needed at the time that you looked for it. The other thing to also keep in mind is your previous list of work that you were doing still hasn't been canceled. You're now looking at an additional set of contacts. So not only could you open spreadsheets like you can with Excel, but you can open up the same spreadsheet multiple times and still work with it in a networked way without affecting your data or delaying you. These are all active records. You're able to open, work on the record, update it, click on save, and move on to the next record. The next thing I'd like to demonstrate real quick is the reality is that when you're working with such a rich set of data and you open up McKinsey's record and there are tons of information about McKinsey, from invoices to activities to groups to payments to anything that's in the system, sometimes you want a quick way to get to the data that matters. So instead of having to feel like you always need to open up the full profile and then go looking for the various pieces of data that's on each record, you're able to ask the system specifically for the data you want by clicking on the special drop-down and zero in directly on the data that matters. I want to see activities for Jenny McKinsey's record, and there they are, 3 records that were found. I could have found them through the regular record, but why waste time waiting for the screen to open, select the activities, and then find that we have 3 activities with that person. So there's a lot of those shortcuts allowing you to get to the data real quick. Also, Results allows each user to work with the data in the way they're comfortable. This profile, what we call a full profile, might feel overwhelming because it has tons of data at the bottom, and sometimes you don't need that data. So Results has really 3 different views in which you can work with the data. You can come in and look at the contact record with just the notes, so no additional tabs are open. This is called a notes view. And notice instantly there, understanding that sometimes you want to see a little bit more, we let you jump to something called the basic view directly from here. This has a few more tabs, but not an overwhelming set. And you can still say, oh, well, I want to see the invoices or I want to see payments. You can still go to the full profile. So Results then has multiple designs, so each user can pick and choose the design that they're most comfortable with and not feel overwhelmed with the amount of data that's coming at them. The other thing to focus within the product itself is the integration of data. So if I was working with Outlook and I want to send an email over, then the email message will come into Results as if it was something that we added into Results directly. So to demonstrate that functionality, let's bring over the Results system. Let me summarize and move some of this data out of the way. And let's go into this sample data up here. So one of the things that we are able to do is we're able to take a look at an email. In this case, this is an email coming in from a voice system. So the phone system with a voicemail coming in will automatically get emailed to the person. And so it's really an attachment that can be listened to at any time from within Outlook. Well, this is an important message that authorized the moving forward of the project. So we want to capture it within the Results system itself. So how do we do that? Well, within the Results, you have something called the Results Quick Add. So if you click on the add-ins, Results Quick Add is always alive and working within the Outlook engine. So you can highlight one or more emails, click on Results Quick Add, confirms that you want to transfer that within the database itself, and then it proceeds to open an extra copy of Results so that you're not forced to be in Results each time you're in Outlook. And this way the email activity itself has been captured as an activity record. There's a link in which the system found where the email came from, found it automatically and linked it to the contact record, converted it into a document that's linked to the activity itself, and put the actual text of the email without any fonts within the notes, so you can actually do a full text searching on all emails that you capture within the Results product itself. So at this point, we can take any further action on this record or assign it to another person. So take an example, an email coming in that asks you to do something. Instead of you wanting to do it, you can delegate it to another person, but it now became a to-do list or an item within your Results system, so it goes directly to the person responsible for taking action. And you can follow through and make sure that it gets done, instead of the old-fashioned way where you forward the email and you hope that it gets taken care of and that you don't forget to follow up. By putting it inside the system, it becomes part of the standard tracking within the Results system. All right, let's go and find this record and take a look and see how the email message was captured. So we open up the Results software account record. We go to the Emails tab, and we find that we have an email. It's a voice message that's here. And basically, you are able to instantly open that email message directly from here. Notice it's still a regular email message, even though it's being opened directly from Results. Actually, you can even do a reply to it if you want to. So it's all coming in from within Results. You're going to basically be able to then do whatever you need to do with the message. So if you wanted to actually go ahead and play the voicemail or follow up by replying to it, any of those actions can be done directly here because the email message and all its attachments are part of the system.
So thank you for watching this demonstration. Certainly, if you have any questions, please feel free to refer to the Strategic Partners page at www.bmrgadvisor.com. Or if you need additional help in connecting with the folks at Results, please feel free to email us at support@bmrgadvisor.com. Thank you again and have a great day.